Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to or back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jess and this is my October-November book haul. So today I have a total of 15 books to talk about with you. I have a couple that were gifted to me. I have my book of the month picks for the last 2 months, and then I have just a small group of books that I picked up for myself from my local bookstore. So without further ado, let's get into it. So November is my birthday month, and so I received a total of 4 books from 2 family members for my birthday, and so I will be going over those now. The first book I have was gifted to me by my aunt, and that was The Summer List by Amy Mason Doan. So this follows 2 girls, Laura and Casey, who are best friends in this small little town, and Laura actually moves away and she leaves Casey behind, but a couple years later down the road and she's pulled back into this small town and they're trying to rekindle their friendship. And so the way that they do this is they devise this scavenger hunt where they go to all these places that were super special to them in the past, and along the way they discover things about themselves and about each other that they didn't know in the past and that might just rip whatever shards of a friendship they had to shreds. So it sounds super interesting. I'll probably try to save this for the summer because obviously it takes place in the summer. It kind of reminds me of a book by Morgan Matson, Since You've Been Gone, which I recently read and really liked, but it has kind of the same concept to it. But yeah, I'm super excited to read this. Thank you to my aunt for sending me this. The next 3 books I have to talk about today were gifted to me by my mother for my birthday. She's the best. I love her so much, but she sent me 3 books. And the first book she gifted me was Out of the Easy by Ruta Sepetys. So I've talked about her a lot before in my previous videos, but Ruta Sepetys is my favorite historical fiction author. That is mainly what she writes, but she does it so well and she crafts these stories beautifully and it's just amazing. But in this one we follow a young girl in 1950s New Orleans, and she is part of the Big Easy. Her mom is a prostitute and she just wants out, and so I'm sure that this is going to be such a good read. I love these historical fictions. Normally I'm not a historical fiction person, but the way that Ruta Sepetys is able to write them and the way she's able to just spin these tales that just keep you gripped and keep you excited the whole way through is amazing, and I love it. I love her writing and I love her books, so I'm excited to get to read this one in the future. The second book that my mom sent me for my birthday, I am super excited for. I've been looking for this book since it came out, but I have not yet gotten it for myself, so I'm excited that she purchased it for me. But it is Crescent City, or House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. So this is Sarah J. Maas's first adult book, and it is supposed to be super good, super amazing. I own every single other book by her. I've read all of her other books. I love them all. She is one of my favorite fantasy authors, and I'm super excited to get to read this one. This one follows a girl named Bryce who is living the high life, but then someone sends a demon and kills all of her friends. The person that is accused is put behind bars and they think it's all over, but then something else happens and an investigation ensues and she is put in the middle of it, and it always, I'm sure it's going to end up just like every other Sarah J. Maas novel where she gets this gang of characters and you get the cute romantic interest, and there's a really great romance that you root for the whole way through. There's great cast of characters all the way around that you root for the whole way through. There's always, the villains that she puts in these books are always super just amazing and unique, and I always love her writing and the worlds that she's able to build, so I'm super excited to get to read this one. The third and final book that she gifted me for my birthday is The Hollow Boy by Jonathan Stroud. This is the 3rd book in Lockwood & Co. This, I would label it as a middle grade series. I'm not sure what the official label is, but like I said, I would label it as middle grade. I started reading this in 6th grade when a teacher told me that I should pick up the first one because she thought I would like it, and I loved it, and I picked up the second one not too late after I picked up the first one, and I've been waiting to get my hands on the third one, and then the 4th one, which I still have to get my hands on. But it's so much fun. It's been so long since I've read them, I cannot remember the names of the characters, all except for one, which is Lockwood. But we follow a girl, and she is really young, she's like a young teenager, and she decides that she wants to hunt demons and ghosts. And so she basically is running around London trying to find someone that will allow her into their like ghost hunting company, and she stumbles upon Lockwood and his friend. I do not remember his name, but there are 2 of them, and she gets pulled into their little gang, and they go on adventures and hunt ghosts and different spirits, and it is so much fun, such a great time, and I'm excited to have this one. For this next section, I will be talking about the books that I purchased myself from my local bookstore, so let's get into those ones. So the first book on here I've talked about quite a bit in my last couple of videos, but that is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groden. I'm currently reading this. I'm only about 12 pages into it, but I'm enjoying it so far. This is an alternate reality story following events after World War II, except for the Nazis won. And so every year, to commemorate the win from the Nazis, they host this huge motorcycle race, which takes place from Germany to, I think it's either China or Japan, but anyways, it's across the whole continent, and it's super huge, and the winner gets to meet Hitler. And so we have this girl who was experimented on during World War II, so she now has the ability to phase shift. And so she decides that she is going to phase shift into the previous winner of this motorcycle race so that she can enter it. And whenever she wins this race, she is going to assassinate Hitler whenever she gets to meet him. And so as you can imagine, a lot of things can go wrong in this book. It's something that is going to keep you gripped the entire time, hopefully. I heard of this book from Haley in Bookland's channel. I will link her channel down below in the description, but she loved it, and I am sure that I'm going to love it as well. The next book that I picked up for myself was They Went Left by Monica Hesse. This follows a girl after World War II has just ended, and she is trying to find her little brother, and all she knows is that he was sent left while she was sent right. And so, as you can imagine, it is really hard to find him, and she has to go through all these different things, and it's supposed to be really sad and just a super emotional read, and I am really excited for it. And next I have another Ruta Sepetys book, and that is Between Shades of Grey. This follows a young girl named Lena who is living in Lithuania in 1941, and she is living happily with her family except for her father, who has been thrown into kind of like a jail, but kind of like a camp almost. It's weird. It's not quite a concentration camp, it's more like jail, but they call it a camp. Anyways, he's been taken, and her and her little brother and her mom are living together, and they think everything's going great when one night the Soviet secret police knock on their door and throw them into a train car and don't tell them where they're going. And then a little bit later on, they figure out they've been sentenced to go to Siberia, and so she's trying to get her family out of this terrible fate, basically, and I'm sure this is going to be another one that is sad and gripping and emotional, and I am ready to feel all of the feelings with this one. The next one I have picked up was The Midnight Star by Marie Lu. So this is the third and final book in the Young Elite series. I love Marie Lu's series, I love her Legend series, and I love this one. I've read the first two a while back. I have been waiting to pick this one up until I saw the book for a good deal, and I found this one in the secondhand bookstore for about $2, and I could not pass it up, and so I went ahead and grabbed it. This is, I can't really tell you specifics because of spoilers. It basically follows this group of teenagers who are trying to overthrow everything that they have been made to understand throw in some fantasy elements, and it's a good time, and I love it, and it's super great, and I'm excited to have this third book. The next book I picked up from my local bookstore was The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. So this is a sci-fi set on a different planet, and it follows a girl who, the last 3 books that I picked up over the past 2 months from my local bookstore are all part of a series, so I'm going to show them together. But that is Flawless, Perfect, and Unbelievable by Sarah Shepard. So these are books 2, 3, and 4 in the Pretty Little Liars series, which I love. I love the show. I loved the first book. I have read the second book. I just finished it a couple weeks ago, and I enjoyed that one just as much. But yeah, it follows a group of teenage girls who are going to high school in the town called Rosewood. Well, one day, the kind of leader of their gang, Allison, one summer before school starts, disappears. And nobody knows where she went or what happened to her, and it's this huge mystery. Well, it's a year later, and they find her body. And so Allison has been killed, and everybody's kind of coming to terms with their grief, and the 4 friends are trying to figure out kind of how to move on with their lives. They start getting suspicious texts from a person known as A. They have no idea who it is or what A wants, but these texts and messages are not good. They're very bad, they're threatening, and it's them trying to figure out who A is and really kind of help each other overcome this thing that is trying to get them. And it's super fun, super dramatic, a lot of teen drama. It's fun. It's not, I wouldn't say it's supposed to be scary, but I could see where it has some scarier elements because they are basically getting stalked by this person, and this person is threatening their lives. And so it is a little bit scary in that sense, but it's not like give you nightmares scary, I guess. But definitely be wary of that if you are looking to read this series or even watch the show. But I love them. I think they're great. There are a lot more books in this series than just these ones, so I will be continuously picking up the rest of them, but I'm super excited to have books 2, 3, and 4 in my collection. And last but not least, I have my third and final section for this video, which is my 2 book of the months. So before we get into them, let's talk a little bit about the service. So Book of the Month is an annual subscription box where you have their team that reads all of the new releases that are coming out in a variety of different genres for that specific month, and they choose 5. And these range from historical fiction to fantasy to nonfiction to YA to, I don't even know, classics. You name it. If it's a new release in that month and it's one of their top 5 picks, it's in that list. And you basically get to go into their website, look at those 5 books, read their descriptions, figure out which one you like the best, and you can purchase it for $14.99, and you get a brand new hardcover shipped straight to your door. And it's